Hello there, it's T-Dizzle here again. Today we're going to be doing another spring-powered airsoft pistol. This pistol is pretty well known around the world. You might recall seeing it in World War II movies being used by our Army boys, and this pistol was in service with the U.S. Army, the United States military in fact, up until probably about Vietnam is when it was beginning to get phased out, and it actually came into service pretty well before World War I. So here it is, the Colt 45. This is the Colt 45. The military designation of it is the M1911. Just look at it. Pretty good looking gun. Now this gun in my hands, real name is the Combat Zone Striker. That's the name that came with it on the box, but it's just Colt 45. Look at those imitation wood handles there. Pretty interesting. So we're going to talk about this gun. We're going to give you the pros. We're going to give you the cons. So let's set the camera up. Alright. So we have the Colt 45 here. Colt 45. Or the Combat Zone Striker, whatever you want to call it. So it's plastic. Let's just get that right off. It's all plastic, but it's not cheap plastic. This gun did not come from Walmart. This is heavy, durable plastic. It's gonna last. So let's start it off. Cocking, whenever it's empty, it has some resistance to it, but it's not incredibly hard. A con to this is, do you hear that noise after you shoot? That's the spring. It kind of vibrates. It makes some noise. But that's not too terribly bad. The trigger is metal. The hammer is plastic. The hammer plate is metal. The barrel ring is metal. The barrel itself is metal. Everything, the screws holding the wood grips in are metal. Everything else is basically plastic. This is the magazine release right here, and there is the magazine. The magazine, open this slot, dump your BBs in, close it, pull this spring down and lock it like that. Dump them in, turn it upside down and kind of shake it, and they'll feed in, and then hit that spring again and it'll lock them in. So it can hold fairly a lot. This is the safety. This is one of the two safeties, which also acts as a slide lock. So let's say you have it in the holster. That way you can't, when you put it in the holster, it's not going to move the slide. The second safety is the squeeze pad right here. Now just like a regular Colt 45, to fire it you have to squeeze it and pull the trigger. Now if you wanted to, you can still operate the hammer, but let's say you have the hammer back without it being cocked. This doesn't work if it's cocked. Say you have the hammer back and you want to decock it. Well, you can't just pull the trigger and stop the hammer. You have to push down on that safety right there and ease it forward. So that's another realistic thing to that gun. It does not have a slide lock. There is the chamber, kind of blocked by a bunch of the parts. You really can't see it that good. Here are the Picatinny rails. Now this is another downside for me anyway about this gun. I'm not a huge fan of these Picatinny rails. I believe a Colt 45 should have no Picatinny rails. I have a U.S. Army M1911 military police holster that I use in airsoft battles with this, or airsoft wars, and it fits in it, and it would fit a whole lot better if these weren't there. There are the two screws for them. More than likely you can remove them. They look like they're not permanent, like you can remove them. So all you need is probably an Allen wrench and you can remove those. Anyway, another con, on the magazine, the hatch to feed the BBs in, it's doesn't stay like this. So let's say it could just come up undone by itself. When it's in the gun and you're running with the gun, it makes that noise. And then when you pull, let's say you're your magazine's empty and you want to reload. You go to pull it out, those BBs are going to fall out, especially if you do it like that. They're just going to come out. So have a little bit stronger magazine close. Other than that, it's a pretty good gun. It shoots well. The front blade sight could be a little bit bigger. Sights could be a little bit better, but other than that, it's just a great gun. It looks cool. You can put flashlight here. The grip is just a pretty cool gun. It's like a Colt 45. So, Combat Zone Striker is the name for it. If you see it in the store, it's a 6mm BB. But if you see it in the store, it's a Combat Zone Striker. Don't go looking for an M19 Colt 45. Go look for a Combat Zone Striker. So there we have it. Have another gun. Hope you enjoyed that one. Again, I'll take comments, any advice on how to make these videos better. I think next video I'll do one of my rifles that I have. I'll do one of my airsoft rifles, excuse me, instead of a pistol. But yeah, so we'll do one of those, and just comment, help me out, like this video, subscribe. No negative comments, please. And from all of us here in Texas, have a nice day.